It's crucial to realize that there is no extensibility here because I plan to sell all of my shares immediately, even though Nvidia will increase by up to $300 next year. It's a one and done, one company monopoly in AI at the hardware layer if Nvidia keeps driving this fast and carrying out this strategy. They are prepared to fight for the jugular here in what appears to be the most significant market that has arisen, which is what I took away from their announcement. I believe that individuals are likely considering ways to thwart that competitive outcome. What are your thoughts on the valuation, by the way? Is Chamet trading 200 times or even 50 times? I'm with you. Price-to-equity ratios are straightforward. If you take the ratio and flip it, that's your implied yield, price earnings, and price earnings, oops, flip it, and that's your yield, correct? Nvidia is therefore giving up at these costs. It's less than and nearly half of a normal 2-year bond, and I estimate it to be between 2 and 2.5%. Therefore, you have to see it grow incredibly when you have a yield that low. But in order to expand that way, you have to make so much money that rivals look at it and say, hold on, you don't deserve that much profit. This is a principle of capitalism. I will accept a portion of that. My chance is your profit. My opportunity is your margin. Your margin is my opportunity. It is, in my opinion, precisely what occurs. According to Freiberg, I believe that Nvidia will likely win this in the next 2 quarters if AMD, Facebook, Google, Microsoft, and Amazon don't make any significant announcements. My prediction is that there will be some significant activity over the next 2 quarters, forcing people to adjust their projections so that it's not just Nvidia, but Nvidia Plus. That's what I would wager because it makes sense and appears correct. Otherwise, AMD would be in violation of AMD's rules if these hyperscalers simply threw their hands in the air and gave them the entire market. Another issue is that, although AMD is a fantastic memory solution, they don't actually have a deterministic AI chip. In my opinion, Lisa Su needs to take immediate action in this situation and construct, declare, or purchase anything, but she also needs to be quite forceful. Today, Wedbush tech analyst Dan Ives released a new note. He is also present at Futureproof. The Fed will begin to shorten the cycle. Additionally, the AI revolution portends a favorable future for tech trading. Do you think commerce is returning in full force? I recently returned from my second vacation in 6 weeks, which was to Asia. It is firmer. Because of everything we're witnessing with chip demand, the use cases that are eventually propelling AI, and the hyperscalers, I'm really more incrementally bullish. In other words, I think this is just the next step for Microsoft. Considering how we see the AI revolution, I believe the numbers will be significantly higher in 2025. We're only getting started. I believe that the tech industry is in a risky position as the year draws to a close. Then why has the chip trade been so shady? We spend a lot of time in Asia, but I believe there are legitimate worries about whether demand is eventually slowing down. We believe that demand is outpacing supply by a factor of 15 to 1, which indicates that people are enthusiastic not only on Godfather of AI Jensen and Nvidia, but also about Microsoft, Amazon, and Google as a whole. That serves as the basis. Currently, I consider those to be the second, third, and fourth drivers. This is why, in terms of the use case, names like Palantir, companies that, in my opinion, many institutions kind of push to the side, are suddenly prominent. And do you believe that the stocks don't include enough? Since a lot of what we're discussing is already known and expected, the prices and valuations have increased as a result. In our view, the street is underestimating the tech industry's overall numbers by 15 to 20% over the next 2 to 3 years. Our main argument is that, as these use cases develop, just 3% of enterprises have truly chosen to pursue AI. $1 trillion in AI capital expenditures are on the horizon. And I can see it, Scott, footprints throughout Asia. For this reason, I strive to frighten a lot of bears by getting them out of hibernation mode. However, based on my analysis, I expect the ET market will grow by an additional 15 to 20% over the following 3 to 4 months. Is he overly optimistic? People said that he was overly optimistic last year, and this is what has transpired since then. With a 167% increase, Nvidia is now the market's second best performer. People remarked, all right, now they're going to rotate away from the AI darlings. In January of this year, we're going to take a different approach. 8 months have passed. You know what? Nvidia is the best performing stock of the year. It is connected to Visa Corp. Both of them are up 136%. Therefore, Nvidia can't continue to grow by 136% annually after a certain point. However, Nvidia continues to remain bid, and people are still duped by the notion that we will all be intelligent enough to recognize when this is it, this is the top, and it's time to rotate out. I agree that we will end the year on a high note. Tech will be the driving force behind the S&P's potential to end the year at 6,000 in my opinion. I believe that some of that cyclical movement will emerge from these rate reduction, the initial rate decreases. However, once more, I am a little hesitant and believe that if the market does come back a little bit in the next weeks, there will be an opportunity. Now that the Fed has lowered interest rates, everyone is talking about the summer roll. What about October? We've ripped out of technology around here, where October has been the lowest for the past 2 years. By chance, how about the highest roll in October? When it comes to seasonality, there is just one thing that everyone should know, and I'm not referring to the Stock Trader's Almanac, but rather to Jeff Hirsch. Everything you need to know. Over the past 100 years, the stock market has reached its year high in December in 50% of all years. That's all. You could eliminate the remaining seasons. Jim, what did you pick up? You had some excellent interviews yesterday night, after all. I am aware that we will place some extracts, whether they are from Reen, Hose, or Juan. But what is the conversation? I suppose it's the same elsewhere, considering how often we talk about AI. It concerns who is in need of Jensen and who is not. You're in danger and concerned about allocation if you need Jensen, after all. You know what? If you don't require Jensen, you can manage the place rather effectively. Jensen is not necessary for Tan. Jensen Huang is not necessary from him. He doesn't have to force himself to get Blackwell. However, David, we can't stop thinking about that brief article you published yesterday in which Larry Ellison discussed the need for him to make amends with Jensen. The true topic of conversation is Oracle's comeback from a 2% grower to something much larger. Why? When it comes to Jensen, they are correct. Yes, Ellison has overtaken Bezos and surpassed Elon Musk to take the second spot on the list of the richest people in the world. Oracle's 20% in a month will undoubtedly aid with that. You mentioned the strategic partnership between Nvidia and Salesforce to promote AI. I adore that. Disney as well, incidentally. All right, that's fantastic. God loves you, you know. The strategic partnership between Nvidia and Salesforce aims to develop AI agents. Jensen will be joining you for a fireside conversation. Is Jensen coming here? It's not just Jensen. My neighbor next door also invented the GPU for Jensen. David Kirk is incredible. It's not real. I told them, you have to come to Dreamforce, as their initial head scientist happened to be my neighbor. Does Jensen agree that the original intent of AI was to create Agent Force? Does he agree with that? Of course. I spoke with him about it for a long time. He has been having dreams regarding the concept of agents. By the way, these people created the next generation of graphic design in 2008 and 2009. And do you recall when I phoned you after I bought the Switch for the first time and said, "We're all excited about it. It's amazing," to which you replied, "It's Nvidia." Then who?